And we've heard from the UN Secretary General António Guterres. Philip, he says, look, this war, and I quote, has gone on too far. He's calling for an end to both the Iranian attacks on the Gulf and obviously the Israeli-American attacks on Iran. But given that we have this American buildup of troops in the region, it doesn't seem that we may be particularly near a close to this, does it?
Well, we don't know what is going to happen next. The whole thing here, and there is that it's very unclear. The messages coming out of the United States are completely contradictory from one day to the next, from 1 minute to the next from President Trump. The Iranian regime has not budged in its demand that the war come to an end and that the regime remains intact. That appears to be the case. Remember, the regime is a despicable regime run by fanatical people, but it knows what it's doing. It's very well encompassed within Iran, so it's not going anywhere anytime soon. I think the big error from the United States was thinking just a couple of days of bombing raids on Tehran and the regime would collapse and that will be the end of it. Well, that's not the case. So that was a total misjudgment on the part of the United States. That's why António Guterres, the UN Secretary General, has just been talking in the last few minutes saying that the world is staring down the barrel of a wider war. This has gone on far too long, and the human and economic pain will get worse the longer the fighting goes on. So a lot of concern around the world, certainly in Western capitals, in the Gulf, I think amongst people in the United States and also in Asia, about where this is all going to end up at the end of the day, and what President Trump's next plan is. Is he preparing a ground offensive? There are all these troops being built up into the area, 5,000 Marines, 2,000 or so airborne troops coming in. Does that signal that at the end of this ultimatum on Friday, which is due to expire at midnight, that Donald Trump could launch some kind of ground offensive into Iran to win back the Strait of Hormuz or take control of Hague Island? We really don't know where all of this is going.